This is the second video, sorry the first one was so short, for Lesson 6, Unit 3, Composition of Transformations. Here this problem is asking you to take triangle XYZ and to first rotate it and then second dilate. So for the rotation of negative 90 about the origin, remember negative is clockwise. Clockwise of negative 90 is the same as 270 counterclockwise, so it's up to you. Some students liked memorizing those ordered pair rules. I think most of you like turning your paper. So take your paper and turn it 90 degrees clockwise, and it puts you right there. Now jot the ordered pairs down as if you haven't turned them. So x prime is at 2, negative 2, y prime is at 3, negative 4, and z prime is at 5, negative 3. Take your paper and turn it back and plot those points. 2, negative 2, 3, negative 4, and 5, negative 3. So triangle x prime, y prime, z prime. Then what it's telling you to do is to dilate this figure by half, meaning it's going to get smaller by a factor of half. So take x prime and cut it all in half. Take y prime and cut it all in half. And take z prime and cut it all in half. Now plot those points. So I am now at 1, negative 1, x double prime, 1.5, negative 2, y prime, and 2.5, negative 1.5, z prime, double prime. So then the next question students say is, well, I did it in a different order and I still got the same answer. And yes, sometimes you will. Sometimes it'll work. So what I did down below here was I took the same problem, triangle XYZ, and the first thing I did was dilate it, and then I rotated it. And I guess my colors are different than they were up above. But ultimately, this tiny triangle is in the same position as the tiny triangle was up here. So yes, this one did work when it was backwards, but it won't always. So when you're doing these composition of transformations, make sure you're doing them from right to left. So the second one ends up doing first, and then the first one ends up doing second. If you remember the word commutative from, I don't know, maybe pre-algebra, commutative is what allowed you to switch the order of addition and switch the order of multiplication. And thus far, you haven't seen any reason as to why this might not be commutative, but let me show you a couple. So here are two that I found. So again, I'm trying to answer the question, does order really matter? So we have two different line segments here. We have line segment AB, and the first thing that happened is it was reflected over the x-axis and then translated 3 right and up 1 to the second shape, which landed you here. Same line segment, ABC. This one, however, was the same translation, 3 over, 1 up, and then reflected. And if you look at the final answers, they are in two very different locations. So for this particular example, the order did matter. I've got another one for you. Again, beware the process has to be done from right to left. It's not necessarily commutative. So in this particular one, there was a reflection and then a translation. Same triangle was translated and then reflected, and these final triangles are in two very different places. So as I said, students are always going to say, well, I did it a different way and got the same answer, or I did it backwards and got the same answer. And my response to that is going to be great. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. So the composition of transformation is not always commutative. It's not always reversible. Now I can't even read my handwriting. So it's not always going to be reversible. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not going to. So that when you are doing these composition of transformations and you read them, reading them in the proper order is going to be important. The one closest to the figure needs to be done first. The one furthest away is going to be done second. The one closest to the figure needs to be done first. The one further away is going to be done second. When you're talking to me about the rule, tell me what you did first. Both of these works, but there are going to be times that it doesn't. So what's important is that you're telling me what you're doing to your shape in which order. So if you look back at the very beginning at the notation, it said that you take the figure, we had the first one, and then that second one goes furthest away. And again, this kind of open circle in the middle just means to compose. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching and hopefully listening to all the words in the video. Thanks so much.